ATrack 3.0 handles courses in two different ways. The first way is consistent with the way it used to work, where you create a catalog course, that which would be in your catalog, and those are then associated with the matrix. However, we've also added scheduled courses, which are not just catalog courses, but they're courses that are actually offered during a semester, and that's the course that a student and a preceptor would be associated with. So let me begin by showing you how to first build the catalog courses. So we go to Manage Courses on the left nav here, and then we can update a course. Now, you can't update or create a course until you have a department. So we would begin with updating or creating a department. And the way you do that, simply just type in the department code. We'll do exercise science here. And then once you create this one time, you can use this over and over again when you're creating the courses. So here we've added exercise science. And now if we go to update courses, this will allow us to create a new course. The way we do that down here is we'll click the department code, we'll put in 101, and the course title is Intro to Exercise Science, and you can put a description here if you want to, and hit Create Course. Now we have a new course, Exercise Science 101. Now we would create all these obviously and then match these in the matrix to create our full matrix, and we'll show that in a different video how to do all that. That's here under Course Matrix. But what I want to do is I want to keep moving forward and show you about the scheduled courses, because this is probably the single biggest change in ATrack in terms of the way it's all structured. Rather than pairing or associating preceptors with students directly, what we're doing is we're creating a scheduled course, and then we're associating both the preceptors and the students together in the scheduled courses. So the way that we accomplish that is we have to first off create sections. Well, you don't actually have to have sections, but if you have more than one section offered, then you would want to do that. Sections are not required, but they're often useful when you're creating different sections, and they could have different kinds of numbers as well. Whatever, not just ABC, it could be any kind of combination. And then you also want to create periods. Now, period is any period of time that you want to associate with the scheduled course, or even a part of a scheduled course, like a rotation. So what I've done is I've created a fall period, and that's just going to be from August to December. And I've created fall 2000 first half, second half, which would be appropriately dated, or I could even create rotation, 3 different rotations, which is going to be the first 5 weeks, the second 5 weeks, third 5 weeks. So create whatever you want. It's really easy. You just put a name in here and just put a date, an end date, and a start date. Start date and an end date. Now once you've created those, then we can actually create a scheduled course, and this is how this works. What I'll do is I'll create a new scheduled course. We'll use the one that we had, the exercise science course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose that exercise science course here. And I don't have a section on it because I only have one, but if I did have a section, I could put that section number there if I wanted to, but I'm just going to get rid of that for now. And the period on this course is going to be fall 2016. Now if I know the final exam date, then fine, put it in. You don't have to, but it's just good for reference. And where's this going to be taught? Well, this particular one's going to be on my campus, so I'm going to put it on ATrack University. And I have an instructor who's probably going to be, one of my administrators, so he's teaching the class. And the students in the class are going to, they're going to be let's call them the sophomores. I don't have any freshmen here. If I hold down the control key, I can just bring in all 3 of the sophomores. Okay, and then when does it meet? Well, it'll meet on, say, Wednesday from, let's say Wednesday from 9 a.m. to, and so we meet for, I don't know, hour and a half. So till 10:30 a.m. And I might have some instructions here, say meet in room 403, and whatever building might be, block or building, something like that. And by the way, I can if I have more than one of these, let's just say we're meeting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I click this little duplicate button here, this will actually duplicate all that information across the board. So does it meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday? It looks like 9 a.m. to 10:30, and room 104, block or building. Okay, and now I'm going to hit create. Now what I have is I have this exercise science course that's scheduled. So this preceptor or instructor will now be associated with these 3 students. And this is great if, in the case you have a didactic course like a biology course or a nutrition course. Well, this is done, and now you know where those students are and where they're going to be meeting and with whom. But what if this is a clinical course and they're going to be doing clinical experience, learning experiences in different places and they have clinical assignments? Well, I could then add a clinical assignment to the course. So what I do is I click clinical assignment to the scheduled course. Now I've got a clinical assignment. And let's just say, in this case, this clinical assignment, they're going to go, I'm going to call this, let's say, tennis. Because for whatever reason, I'm going to have them go and do some time in this tennis rotation. And it's going to be at the tennis courts, and it's going to be men's tennis. And maybe if I do women's tennis, I don't know if I got women's tennis in here. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Let me see if here. Yeah, women's tennis right there. Okay, and so now the preceptor, this is the professor on record was Roger Willis, but he's not teaching the tennis portion. I've got another instructor doing that. That's going to be Anita, and she teaches tennis. And these three are going to go into that course at that time. And now the other thing about this is the period is going to change. I'm going to change. Maybe they're just going to be in the first half. So in the first half of the semester, they're going to go over into tennis with Anita, and they'll meet at the same times. Or if they meet at different times, maybe they just only meet on Wednesdays for that 1 hour. And I can even adjust where they would meet here. So whatever kind of notes I want to put in there, meet at tennis courts. Now, although it is here at the ATU tennis courts, might be a good idea to put some other kind of notification here that the student can see. And I hit create. So now what I have is a exercise science course, and I've got a clinical assignment associated with it. And Anita is meeting with these three students. Well, what if I have another one happening at the same time, and maybe one of those students isn't in this tennis course, but they're somewhere else because we split them up? Well, okay, I'll just copy this clinical assignment. And now what I'll do is I will remove David Timms because let's say he and Stefan are in the tennis class, but this first half, it's not going to be tennis, it's going to be swimming. So in this case, I'm going to put in this student, Victor Finch, in the pool. And Anita Pennington is not going to be teaching it, and he's not going to be doing tennis in the pool, although it would be kind of cool. He's going to do, say, swimming and diving, and the instructor over there we know is Edward Greer. Okay, but it's going to be the same time, or maybe it's a different time. And in this case, it's not going to be it's going to be meet at the pool or meet at the rack, and then they can then go from there into the pool. And I'll just copy that over there. So now what I have to make one small change. I've got to remove, since Victor's now here at swimming, I'm going to remove Victor off of this clinical assignment. So because we know that he's doing swimming, and now I update. So now what I have this class being taught. Roger Willis is a professor of record, and Roger might meet with the students for an hour at the beginning, do some orientation, and then when those students go into their clinical rotations, we've got Stefan and David meeting with Anita at the tennis courts for the first half of the semester, and at that same time during the first half, I've got Victor going over and meeting with Edward Greer, meeting at this time and in that location. Now let's just say at the second half of the semester, I want to switch them around. Maybe Stefan and David are now going to go to the swimming, and now Victor's going to go play tennis. Okay, that's easy. What we'll do is I'll just duplicate this and that tennis, and I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, instead of David and Stefan in there, I'm going to put Victor, because Victor's the one who will be now moving into the tennis rotation. And this is going to be the second half of the semester, and we're going to call it tennis, and maybe I'll just call it tennis, and I'll just put a 2 so I can know that it's the second half. And everything else stays the same, so I hit copy. All right, so now what I have here is I've got tennis first rotation, and now in the second half, tennis second rotation. And by the way, now Stefan and David are in the first rotation, and Victor is in the second. And I'll do the same with swimming. So here we go, swimming. I'll make a copy of swimming, and I'm going to call this swimming 2. And instead of Victor and Victor, I'm going to put the other guys in there, Stefan and David. Who's my other one there? And everything else stays the same. They're going to be doing swimming, and so I hit, oh, and this is the second half. There we go. Now what I have is I have a full picture of where these guys are going to be and who they're going to be with. And by the way, you can do as many of these as you want. And I can also orient them. So if I want to move this one, I just grab right here and move it up. And now I've got the two tennises together, and I got the two swimmings together. And so I got tennis first half, tennis second half. I've got a Stefan and David, and I got Victor. They're both working with Anita. Well, what if the second rotation Anita's not doing it? Well, I can just go in there and I can edit it and change Anita to maybe she's only teaching the first half, but then I got Erica Wade teaching the second half. So now I know that my students during the second half here will be associated with Erica rather than with Anita. It looks like did I add Anita in there? I think I maybe did. I need to remove Anita off that because Anita is not teaching it this time. Okay. And by the way, I can have multiple instructors on there as well, as you just saw. So this is how you create scheduled courses, and if you need, also you can create rotations that will associate these students with these events, with these preceptors. And this is the how we're now doing the preceptor student assignment in ATrack.